All right, today we're doing a deep dive into the world of online jewelry and specifically a company you've probably seen advertised called Maria and Harold's Jewels.
Yeah, their ads are everywhere.
They really are. Our mission here is to unpack the reports and analysis you shared with us and, figure out the actual e-commerce playbook that's going on behind the curtain.
Hmm.
And just a quick note before we jump in, this is all educational commentary. We're looking at marketing claims, not giving you advice on what to buy or not buy.
Right, it's about consumer transparency.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The emotional hook is. It's pretty powerful. You have this story of a family business supposedly retiring after decades.
Inspired by their daughter, May.
Exactly. And they're offering these huge sales, like up to 70% off handcrafted jewelry, and they say they're serving 5 countries. I mean, it's a story that's designed to make you feel something.
It is. It's a brilliant narrative, really.
Mm.
But for a company that claims it's been around for decades, the first thing we have to look for is that history. It's digital shadow.
And that is exactly where the story starts to unravel. The investigation found, well, basically a non-existent digital footprint before this recent ad blitz.
So no old social media posts.
Nothing. No established social media, no customer photos from, say, 2015, no old press mentions. For a business supposedly operating that long, it's odd.
That's a huge red flag. So if the history isn't there, what about the products themselves, the physical evidence?
This is what's fascinating. The analysis of the product images, the jewelry, tells another story.
The reverse image searches.
Yeah. The reverse image searches found photos of the exact same jewelry on tons of unrelated websites. Major retailers, too.
So they're not unique pieces. It suggests they're coming from a shared stock catalog.
Exactly. And even though they use these really evocative phrases like handcrafted or created to honor life's beauty,
There's no actual information.
zero. Nothing verifiable on where the materials come from or any details on the craftsmanship. They're selling a feeling, not the product's verifiable story.
And this whole operational model, it's part of a much bigger, well-documented pattern.
It's a playbook.
It's a playbook. The source material pointed to analysis from Bitdefender, the cybersecurity firm, and they identified this identical scheme.
Using the going out of business story.
That, coupled with something very modern AI-generated photos of the family, to build that instant, but fake, trust.
And it's not just tech firms noticing this. We've seen warnings from institutions like the Better Business Bureau about these kinds of liquidation scams.
Right, they warn about this exact formula. You get the touching backstory, the huge discounts, and then all this language driving a sense of urgency.
The sources mention a few other examples, right? Matilda Milo Jewels, Ava, and Lucas.
Yes, and Louise Carter Jewelry. They all reportedly followed the exact same structure. It often ends with customers receiving, inexpensive products shipped from overseas weeks later with return policies that are nearly impossible to navigate.
Which brings us to that alleged 70% discount. That's not just a random number, is it?
No, not at all. That's the real key to the whole model. It's not a closing sale discount.
It's the profit margin.
It's the required profit margin. The analysis shows these goods are often mass-produced imports. You mark them up significantly, then apply the 70% off to make it look like a deal. It's just the math you need to make a good profit while keeping up the illusion.
And a real decades-old business that's closing down, it would have a different footprint.
Completely different. You'd see local news coverage, an established reputation, maybe formal liquidation documents.
Yeah.
The absence of all of that here is, well, it's the most telling part.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner? I think the key takeaway is just pattern recognition. When you see that extreme urgency, that high-pressure sale tied to a very emotional retirement story, it's worth taking a second to question the digital footprint.
And the origin of the product images. A quick search can tell you a lot.
Right. And here's a final thought for you to consider. Think about how often these high-pressure, emotionally charged marketing narratives are designed specifically to get us to stop thinking critically. What other common consumer patterns rely on that same appeal to urgency and emotion to get us to act now?